Okay, third time's a charm. Ugh, I really just want to write some code. Oh, here we go. I think it's working now. Just give it a few seconds to... Oh, okay, here we go. Looks like it's showing up on YouTube. Sweet. All right, I can get started. Sorry about that, guys. I've run into a couple of streaming issues, which is rare. Everything's just kind of worked for me to my surprise lately. All right, so now we need to go sudo service nginx start to start nginx. And then we want to start MySQL as well. So let's get that up and running. And that should be everything I need for this video. For the stuff I'm doing today. I got Ray open. Good. I might actually have this on my bottom screen, but I promise to show you stuff if it's relevant. Because it's just, I prefer to have only two string things on one screen. Oh, then again, I got my hotkey set up, don't I? Yeah, that's working. So maybe I will just leave it on that top screen. Okay, sweet. Now we can actually get started for reals this time. Let's say I know view. You choose some answers to the question. You press next. You enter that last question, and then it asks you to sign up. And I need to make sure that after it signs up, it sends the request. So let's check if that's working. Where's the pathway page? There it is there. And that's right. I decided that I need to see if I can find a way to make this component smaller, but I'm actually not sure that I can. So let's come down here. Here we go. Handle create user. We want to see what happens if the create user is successful. So here we go. Currently, we're console.logging that, but now we can hit that new API endpoint that I created, which is this one here. So that should be API/create pathway. In fact, I don't think it even has the API prefix with the way I've coded this. Since it's API.quasarcast.com, I figured adding /API would be redundant, so I don't do it. Now let's see if we can go into my Axios. I can't remember how I'm using the API here. So let's go to Axios. Yeah, I probably want to do it the Quasar way, where you basically create another version of Axios. I can't remember how they do that though, so I'm going to quickly check the docs to find that. And what they do is they create an instance of Axios that you can use just for Hello. Viva. Oh, I think you told me how to say your name and I've forgotten already, or how to pronounce that. But hello, welcome. And from memory, you are from India or Afghanistan. I think you are from India and was somebody else from Afghanistan. Anyway, you can correct me on that. So what am I doing? I want to check out how they use Axios, and that was in the boot, I think. Yeah, the part where they describe about boot files. Actually, we want to go to the next version of Quasar. So let's say next dot. Actually, no, I can't use the next version of Quasar because I'm currently sitting Vivek from India. Awesome. So let's have a look at let's maybe search for the word. Oh, here we go. We can set API like that. Oh, that code is much simpler than I thought. And then we'll come down here and we will export Axios, and we'll also export API. And of course, we'll change this to API.quasarcast. Quasarcast. And in this case, it's going to be .test, meaning I'm going to have to use my environment variables. Here they are here. And I'm in the wrong environment variables. My bad. We want the ones in app. So where's our API URL? And there it is there. And we'll come in here and we'll simply say process.env.api_URL. So now that should be set to the API URL. I can import this from any file if I want to do custom requests. Otherwise, I've got my own sort of thing set up for doing requests using Vuex ORM and my own implementation of doing requests with models. But anyway, that's for another day. What am I doing? So I want to import API here. So let's go to the imports and we'll say import API from, I believe it's boot/Axios. Make sure I spell this right. And then we'll come down here and we will hit that endpoint. We might just check if it's working to begin with. So handle create pathway. Let's do API.post. I believe it was a post. Let's jump into API.php. Yeah, to create dash pathway. And there we go. So then we can say, well, actually, we can just return that directly rather than returning the response. And we're going to want the answer in there as well. So how about we just say here, answers is equal to, and I think we can just say, I think it's just this dot answers. Other experience options. Oh, they're just the options. So yes, it is this dot answers. So now let's come down here. Answers is equal to this dot answers. Sweet, that's perfect. This is going to be so much easier with the composition API. Super excited to actually start using it soon. Got to upgrade this project. Make it happen. All right, so we can jump out of the docs now. Let's come over here, answer some of these questions. Hopefully hot module reloading has worked. And before I actually go and hit that endpoint, let's jump into the pathways controller. And oh yeah, I'm already smashing it out there with Ray. So let's say Luke Coolio, Luke at example.com. Got a typo in there, but it doesn't matter. All right, something's gone wrong, but that's fine. It looks like we're hitting the endpoint. What do we got? Validation rule exists, requires at least one parameter. Okay, so let's jump into Laravel. Okay, not exists, required. I wrote that in wrong. So let's give it another try and see what happens. Unfortunately, I think it's already gone ahead and created that user, so let's just change that password. Cool. Create pathway was hit, and then this was smacked out with Ray. So, oh, it's already converted it to an array for us. That is wonderful. So we've got an array with that. We've got an array with the other experience. Wow. Okay, this is going to be so much easier than I thought. So now basically we just need to use this array to create all of the connections that we need to create their pathway. So, all right, I need to start using my brain now, but that's okay. I can do that. Throw this over here. Let's jump to, we're in the controller already. I might keep shooting that out in Ray because it's very helpful. And now we can go ahead and get started. First, we need to create this user a pathway. So we will create pathway. And then we want to associate it with resources based on their answers. So associate resources based on answers. Then we probably need to make sure that everything is ordered. So that's something I didn't actually think of yet. All of this is going to need to have an order. So we'll need some sort of ordering system. And there's two ways you can do that. The efficient way, which is really complicated and annoying to do, or the inefficient way where you basically change every single one of them on the back end and send an array where you basically say, hey, this is the new order. So we're probably going to do it the inefficient way because there's not going to be a lot of resources on this list. So I'm not worried about my API getting hit too hard. So associate resources based on answers. We'll say here, make sure they're ordered as we go. Make sure they are ordered as we go. Make sure resources are, let's be specific here, are ordered as we go. Okay, what else? So we create the pathway, we associate resources to the pathway based on their answers, then we make sure those resources are ordered as we go. So these two are kind of linked together. And I think that's it. And then we send a response. We'll probably send a response with the pathway and its resources. Return pathway with its resources. So we're going to do this quick and dirty in the controller, and then we'll extract it. I don't know, we'll put it on a class or like something else that can handle it for us. I haven't decided on that yet. So let's start with the easy one, create the pathway. Request, we'll take the user, and then we'll say pathway, and then create. It's literally going to be that simple, I'm quite sure. So pathway is equal to that, and I might do that on one line. That makes sense to me. But then I want to read it like this. Pathway create. Cool. I'm happy with that. And then once we've got the pathway, let's actually test if that's working. So we'll go Ray and spit out the pathway like so. And maybe what we could do is we'll still allow them to create a pathway, but if they don't have one, oh no, that's probably a little bit too dangerous. Yeah, let's leave this as is. Let's ignore that train of thought. Okay, so using Ray, we're going to then dump out that pathway. Let's try it with a different email. You say, click on that. Something went wrong, so let's find out what went wrong. Not found. We literally just use this endpoint. Request is not callable, so I'm doing something weird with the request. Ah, my bad. Request was being used as a function, but it cannot be called as a function. What do we got now? Not found on home. I don't know why it's trying to hit this home route. Maybe it's trying to redirect me for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at Ray and see if that worked. Cool, we have the new pathway associated with that user. If we try and do this again, it shouldn't work though because that email already exists in our database. Yeah, okay. This account already has a pathway, but that's not the error I should be hitting. I shouldn't be able to register the user in the first place. What's going on there? Okay, so that's trying to redirect us. I'll sort that out later. So basically, when the user already exists, we should be able to pick up on that and basically, and this form shouldn't even show in the first place. So that shouldn't end up being a problem. So let's change that and move on to the next thing. Whoops. Over here. That's working. And I might bring up Ray and just whack it on the side there so I can have a good look at what this data looks like. So let's start with the first question. Do you know Vue? If they say yes to that, then we don't need to show them a series. So how about if they don't know Vue, add Vue getting started series. And my favorite one for that is the one at Laracast. So I think it's called like vuecast.com and it sends you to Laracast series. And that one is completely free and it is a fantastic way to start learning Vue. Wow, it has got a lot of data in there. Is there a Learn Vue 3, I wonder? Vue 3. No. Bugger. So I'm going to have to find a Vue 3 tutorial. So let's just find something quickly. But then I'll probably end up teaching something myself. So let's say Quasar. How about Learn Vue 3 video series or something like that. I'm going to go back to Laracast and just check if they do have anything. Let's search for, because I trust Laracast. Vue with Laravel. What's new in Vue 3? All right, so this is going to teach us some stuff about Vue 3, but really what I'm looking for is we're going to very quickly start getting people that are learning Vue for the first time, and Vue 3 will be the place to go. So I don't want this to be a kind of, oh, let's learn what's new in Vue 3 kind of thing. I want it to be, this actually raises a question. Maybe I should have another question in there, like, do you know Vue 2 or Vue 3? Or we could even change the question to, do you know Vue 3? I don't know. I don't know. So basically, we just need a good Vue 3 series. Learn Vue 3 from scratch. I don't know if it's going to exist yet. LearnVue.co. We've got a Vue 3 full course. 10 hours, 10 apps. That's not the kind of thing I'm looking for. Oh, I think I know this guy. No, it's not the guy I'm thinking of. So maybe not. I might end up having to just have a look through these. Vue 3, start using it today. Maybe something like that. Yeah, look, I'm probably going to have to do my own series on this because I don't think anything great exists at the moment. So how about Vue School Learn Vue 3? All right, this is a masterclass, but I kind of want to. I don't think that's going to be free though. Yeah, so this one is a paid course. I don't want to send people to a paid course on my site. Um, so you know what? For now, I'm just going to put in the one that Jeffrey Way has, the one at Laracast. So the best way to do that is I'm probably going to have to see the database with a link to viewcast.com. Whoa, gosh, that was so loud. Ooh, I need to turn my speakers down. So we'll do that for now, and then I'll create a series. So that's going to be my answer to that. Don't want to spend any more time thinking about this. So we'll have to create a seeder for, what seeders do we have? Lesson seeder. Oh, crap, I can't even remember my own database. We've got a resource. Have we got a resource seeder? No, I've got a resource, a learning resource. Oh no, this is a learning resource seeder. So basically we want to create that learning resource. Let's say learning resource, and this is going to be a factory. Has that not been imported? Learning resource factory. Oh, geez, I'm butterfingers today. And we'll add one here for learning view. So now I've got to figure out what is on a learning resource. So let's say learning underscore resources table, title, title, description, link, image URL, and the user ID. I'm going to find myself and then use myself as a user ID. So let's just copy those. And how about we say user underscore ID, and we set that to user where, I think you can say first where email is equal to luke@ldbold.com. So I'll set myself as the one that added this course in. Cool, so let's do all of these now. Just put commas in there so it all lays out nicely. And then set it to something empty by default. It's not working. What have I done wrong here? Oh, did that wrong. We're doing it the JavaScript way. Cool. All right, so the title is going to be Learn View 2 and View 3. Oh, let's just say Learn View 3 because that's what it will eventually be. Description. Don't know view yet. No worries. This series will get you up and running fast. In fact, I think Quasar has its own like getting started series. So maybe we'll use that to begin with. It's just got like a page that teaches you the basics of Vue. So let's quickly check that. We'll go to the docs there. And there's a section for learning Vue. Hey, RJ. Not a lot is up. Well, I guess a lot is up. Oh, I should tell you guys my plan. You might find this interesting. So I've decided, well, I decided from the beginning that I do eventually want to monetize Quasarcast, but I don't want to do it in a dickish way. I want to give away free content, and then if people like my stuff, then they can come in and watch some of my Quasarcast stuff. But I want to continue doing free content, so I'm trying to figure out how all that will work. And like figure out a timeline of when I can make all of this happen. And so what I realized is I can't really create Quasarcast unless I've got paid content. And in order to do that, you need to spend a lot of time creating paid content. Otherwise, people sign up and they've got, what, all my free stuff? That doesn't really make sense. And so here's the plan. I'm going to spend, I'm going to build this thing, what I'm doing now, which is my Pathways app. And that 5 there basically means it's going to take me 5 focus blocks to do it. And a focus block is basically 1 hour of hardcore work. So I don't know if a stream will count as a focus block because I'm very slow on a stream compared to real life, just because I talk about what I'm doing. But I enjoy doing streams more. That's why I do them. I enjoy it more than just working on my own. So there's that. I'm about 10 hours away from finishing the Getting Started guide, about 10 focus blocks away. And I also want a brief introduction for all 72 components. So I looked it up, and there are 72 components in Quasar. I counted them all. It's going to take me about 1.5 hours to do, on average, to cover to cover one component. And I'm not going to cover the entire component, the entire API. That's what I was originally going to do, but then I realized people don't actually want that. They just want to know how to use it and get started with the component. And so that's what I'm going to do then. And that'll take me about 100, and I figured out if I 1.5 times 72 ends up as about 108 hours, 108 focus blocks. And on top of that, I need to do weekly content whilst I'm doing all of this. So I'm going to do a component of the week, corners of the docs, and building a UI. Honestly, this is probably more like 1.5, so maybe I can change the numbers a bit there. It really doesn't take that long to do a corners of the doc section. Let's build an UI. Takes a little bit longer though. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be weekly stuff I do every single week, so that everybody's getting like good regular content that's going to help them progress in Quasar. But if you're someone who has more time and wants to go a little bit deeper, this is going to be the paid stuff I'll start with. And the plan is I'll have a clone app, which is going to take me about 50 hours to build. That's just I'm predicting it'll take about that long. And that might be like a Twitter clone, or that might be a Trello clone. I like the idea of a Trello clone more than a Twitter clone. I think it suits the Quasar framework better, but I'll decide on that later. And the idea is, rather than just doing all of this and then creating a subscription, I'm going to build each of these and sell them at a pretty low price. So I'm thinking like $50 for my clone app tutorial. Like I might charge like $5 for each of the builder UI videos. So I'll do 3 of those and basically charge for each of these different ones, like a one-time payment. And then maybe, this is just something I'm thinking of now, maybe if you buy one of my courses, it also gives you 1 month free of QuasarCast when I do actually end up releasing it. So that could be a good idea. So the idea is like I'll start, rather than these just sitting on my computer doing nothing, I'll sell them at a low price. And then once I've finished all of those, QuasarCast can then begin. So if you sign up for QuasarCast, you'll have access to all of these videos. And the price is going to be $15 US dollars a month. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to follow the Laracast model there. Yeah, and so I figured it's going to take about, I can probably fit in about 2.6 hours a day working on this stuff. Because I can fit about 3.5 hours a day of work in. I figured out if I like, yeah, awesome, Ricky. That's good to hear. That's good to hear that the pricing makes sense to people. So yeah, because I want to put some time on this. I'd rather get this out later, but still connect with my audience and like be able to do streams, talk with you guys, do my podcasts. I just love that stuff too. I'd rather do that than disappear for a couple of months just so I can get it launched quicker. That just doesn't seem right to me. So the idea is, yeah, it's going to take, QuasarCast is going to basically go live in terms of the monthly subscriptions in about 4 months' time, based on this kind of based on this structure. So that's kind of my plan. I know this looks really ugly. I haven't prettified it yet, like I have a lot of my other stuff, but that's my plan to get and you guys are the first to know about it, to get up and running with QuasarCast, because I figured the hard thing for me was I can't just start charging people a monthly subscription when I don't have content, or when all my content that I have is free. So let's build these, sell them at a low price, and then when QuasarCast is available, I've actually got content, which will be all of these videos which are included in the subscription. And this is based on stuff that I figured people want to learn. I've looked at the stuff, feedback from the survey. I've been contacting, talking to people in the community. If there's anything you really want me to build, then let me know on Discord. I'll quickly put my Discord in the chat here. But yeah, that's my plan going forward with QuasarCast.com. And if you want to be the first to know about this, then go to QuasarCast.com/register. This is how you sign up /register. Oh, I need to update the logo of my site now to the new Quasar logo, which is freaking awesome, by the way. Yeah, just fill in your details. I don't send any marketing emails. The most marketing I might end up doing some sort of marketing emails in the future, but I'll make it really easy for you to like unsubscribe and just say like, only let me know about the important stuff. But I might end up doing stuff like, a video every day that teaches you the foundations of something. Not every day. That everyday emails would be too much. But like, you know, 2 or 3 times a week, I might do some like hot tips or something like that. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this yet, but basically, I just want you to be rest assured I'm not going to email the crap out of you if you register for Quasarcast because it annoys me and I don't want to be that annoying person. Right, so that's that. Let's go back to what I was actually working on, which was this over here. All right, so we need to actually import the user here. And a learning resource by default is going to be under my email. And the title will be Learn View 3. Don't know View yet. No worries. This series will get you up and running. ... Fast. No, that feels a little bit wanky to me. Let's just say that. Link. So for now, let's just use viewcast.com. I think that's what the link is. Cool. I can control click that directly from the browser. Nope. Looks like. Wait, is that? No, that's not it. Viewcasts. Let's try that. What's going on? Maybe it's not HTTPS. Let's just try without the S there. Get rid of that. Yeah, okay, so I had to get rid of the secure section in that. And this is going to need an image URL. Ugh, all right, let's go ahead and do this properly. So I created a thing for images the other day. Cloudinary, that's right. No, it's Cloud. Yeah, Cloudinary. This might end up showing like API keys or something on their site. I hope it doesn't. But just in case it does, I'm going to throw this on my bottom screen and tell you what I'm doing. So Cloudinary is just like a way to get images on a CDN and resize it and do cool stuff like that. How do I log in? Gosh, I got to admit, this site is really not that intuitive. Oh, here we go. And it's got my API key sitting right there, but not the secret. So maybe this is safe. Yeah, stuff it. I'm just going to show it up here. You can't do anything without my secret anyway. So I think I can just go to the media library, upload an image. So let's just do something like, if I go to Canva, I might just steal one of my images from there. Maybe we can just say here, learn view. See if Laracast has a series, has an image for that. I mean, they got this one here. It's not really the kind of thing I'm looking for, though. But I probably should use the Laracast logo here. I don't know, maybe I can just copy that. Yeah, sweet. Okay, let's just copy that and leave it at that. There we go. I don't have to do any Cloudinary stuff. Sweet, I can save that. I can get out of that. Don't need that anymore. And we can go ahead and create that data. And that would be that. I can probably find it based on the title. I don't know if I... See, this is going to be the problem. My database is already going to have to be seeded. And I'm going to have to already know the IDs and then link them up, which is kind of annoying, but it's probably the best way to do it. So we probably need another way to uniquely identify a learning resource. Maybe I can make sure the title is unique. Am I doing that already? Let's check. Learning underscore resources table. So it's unique by the pathway ID, learning resource ID. Oh, just those two. So let's just sit those there. Pathway ID. Okay, this doesn't have one by default. What's the factory doing? Is that going to handle that for us? Does this need to have a pathway ID? It's a learning resource. Geez, I think I've set this database up wrong. Pathway. Why would I need a pathway on the learning resource? That doesn't make sense. Really what we want... Oh, okay, because I'm looking at the wrong table. I'm looking at the pathway learning resources table. What I want to look at is the learning underscore resources table. This one here. Okay, it's unique by the title, link, and user ID. Sweet, that's exactly what I was looking for. So that means what I could do is get out of that. I know that it's going to be me, and I know that will be the title, and I know that will be the link. That's exactly what I needed to know. So now I can come back here to the pathways controller, and now we can easily find that learning resource. Let me just paste those in as the comments. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit higgledy-piggledy here. Whoops. So if, basically we want to say if the answer, and we open Ray again. Where's the Ray section? If do you know view is equal to yes, then we want to associate that learning resource. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. If answers do you know view, so if that's equal to yes, hi Luke, your tutorials in Quasar is awesome. Oh, thank you, that's really kind of you. If there's anything that you want me to create, let me know, or anything that you want to ask me in this stream, let me know. I'm just chilling on a Sunday, so I'm happy to go a little bit off the rails if it makes sense. So request answers, do you know view, that's going to be, okay, it's a string, which is kind of silly of me, but that's okay. But that actually I wanted as a string because it could be yes or view 2 or view 3 down the future if we get more specific there. If they say yes, we now need to find it using the title, link, and user ID. So let's say here, Luke's user ID. That's going to be equal to user where email. I think I can do that. Where email is what about we go first where email is equal to luke@ldbold.com. And I'm just going to yank out my ID. There we go. Make sure that's imported. So that gives me the user ID, and then we just want to check the title and the link. So then we can say lesson resource. Gosh, this is really stressing my brain out. Not lesson research. Learning resource where user ID is equal to Luke's user ID, because obviously I'm going to be the one that created it. Then we want to say where the title, I love Laravel's beautiful Fluent API here, is equal to, what am I doing? I want to be in the Cedar. That, learn view 3, there we go. And then where the link is equal to that link there. Because that's how we can uniquely identify this. I put a bit of thought into how I could uniquely identify a learning resource. So you can't have a learning resource that ends up with the same title and the same link. I think that makes sense. And then we can just grab the first one of that because we can reliably say there's only going to be one of them. Okay, so let's say here, learn view resource is equal to that. And of course, this is not all going to sit in our pathways controller. This would just be ridiculous. So I'm going to have to abstract this at some point. And now we can say $pathway attach. No, not attach. We have to say learning. Let's go to pathway to PHP. What is it? Learning resources. And then we can say attach. And the one that we want to attach is the ID of that. Okay, there we go. So that's actually kind of cool. We've gotten off to a pretty good start here. Associate resource based on answers. We can basically associate whether, if they answered yes, then we're going to associate them with the Learn View 3 learning resource. And we're going to find a place to make this clean. So I can, ultimately, I want an API that kind of looks like this. Something like maybe pathway, associate, learn, view, resource, something like that. That might be a bit too specific. So maybe like add resource by string, maybe. So I can add some common ones in here and then reference them by a string, or add resource by Title. No, you can't really do that. I don't know. I have to think of a way that I can do this. But I'm basically going to need like a file that's very flexible so I can I can change it very easily to say what the resources are as they change over time. All right, so that's the first one done. Let's see if it actually works now. Because nothing ever works the first time. Oop, that didn't work. Why is this change? Weird. What is going on there? When I click out of it, it changes. There's something funky going on. All right, let's try refreshing the page. Something funky. So let's say yes, I know view, so we get yes to that first question. This stuff doesn't even matter. And then I can say blah, 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 at blah.com, secret, 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 secret. All right, let's give that a try. I don't know what changed. I feel like I didn't change anything. Once we discussed before that 404 is not going to be a problem. Oh, you know what the problem might be? The fact that I'm logged in now. So I'm going to have to log out. So let's refresh the page now and do that again. I really should probably find a better way to test this. I know... No. We want to look at someone that doesn't know view. Ugh. Come on, Luke. Get it together. What is this error I'm getting? Okay, that's expected. That's related to that, I think. So they're both... Those errors are both fine. I don't know view... Oh, and by the way, this should be no. Oh my gosh. All right, let's try it again. I don't know view. Imagine we answer some of this. I just want to get up and running. And I might actually put in some dummy data for this so that we don't run into this problem of having to type it all in every single time. Okay, cool. We've got an error we can deal with now. And let's go to the preview there. Do you know view on an array? What have I done there? Oh, that was silly of me. This is an array. An associative array. That's fine. Let's go into the register component, register form. And let's have a look at the data for that form. Where is it? Here it is here. And let's say Luke. And let's say Luke at example.com. And then I'll just change it a little bit every time. And then a really stupid password for both of those. So that's just going to make it a little bit easier for us to get up and running. And then what we might also do is we might go into our pathways page. Whoops. Here it is here. And if we go into our data there, actually I want to go into our answers. Where is it? Here they are here. Let's set that equal to no by default. And then we'll leave both of these by default. And I'll set the tab that we're on equal to register form by default. This is going to make it just a lot easier for us to start testing this. There we go. So now if I refresh the page, the entire thing is filled out for me. I've already got the answer set to the answer I want it to be filled out with, so I don't have to do all that crap again. Let's change that to something random. And now what am I getting? This account already has a pathway. Really? We just changed that email. Oh, it's because I'm logged in. Oh, bugger. So I'm going to have to remember to log out every time as well. All right, let's try this again. Blah. Now what do we get? Cool, we get another 500. Attempt to read property ID on null. Ooh. Okay, so that's not being found. Cool, at least we've got an error that we can dig into now. So now I can say cd ../API art tinker. Let's go to our learning resource. Oh, I never actually migrated that. Okay, art db seed and what do I put in here? I think it's model or something like that. The class of the seeder. So class is equal to learning resource seeder. Cool. Let's see if it works this time. We're going to have to refresh the page. We're going to have to log out. All right, so this needs a little bit of work, but that's fine. We'll clean it up, and it will be tremendous when we're done with it. And put gobbledygook in there. Cool. Attempt to read property ID of null. So we're getting that again. I should probably check where that's actually happening. 939. So let's jump to line 39. Oh, it's actually happening here. So I don't have an account for myself yet. Let's go to user Cedar. And I don't have one yet. So let's say art make Cedar user table Cedar, I think is what we call it. Let's look at the learning pathway. Learning resource Cedar. No, they don't put the word that they don't put the word table in there. So let's just say user Cedar. Now we'll go into the user Cedar, and by default, I'll just seed myself. That sounds really bad. I'm going to seed myself. Why did I just say it again? Why would I do that? Oh goodness. All right. All right, so the name is Luke Diebold, and the email is equal to luke@ldiebold.com. There we go. That should be everything I need, and the factory should take care of the rest. So let's say art db seed, and the class is the user Cedar. There we go. So that's probably worked. Let's refresh the page and give this another crack. Log out. This is one situation where those, what are they called? Graph databases would probably make more sense. I usually don't like graph databases for most of my projects, but I think they would make a lot of sense when you've got weird nested data like this answers thing. And honestly, I could probably use Postgres and do this in a smarter way, but that's for future Luke to worry about. All right, so let's do this. See what our next error is. And I'm still getting that exact same thing. So let's come back here and see if we can grab this user. That seems to be the thing that's giving us the problem. All right, let's see if I get a user when I do that. Email is luke@ldiebold.com. Let's try the user first. Let's say user, and then we'll pluck all of the emails. Okay, so it looks like that Cedar did not work. User Cedar. I've got the email in there. Why would that Cedar not work though? So let's see if we can paste that in here and see what happens. Oh, I didn't actually create it. Man, gosh, full of blunders today. That's okay, such is life. And let's seed it again. Okay, it looks like that worked. Now I'm thinking I probably did the same mistake using the learning resource Cedar, and I did. So let's go ahead and seed this as well. ArtDB seed, the class is the learning resource Cedar. And let's have another crack at this. So we have to refresh the page. We'll have to log out. And let's see if this works. And make that something random. Nice! All right. Art Tinker. Pathway first. Actually, what we really want to do is grab this user here. So let's say user, you know what, let's give this more room so you can actually see what I'm doing. And what I might do is make another one there and do it smaller down here just so you've got a bit of, just so this is lifted off the bottom. Because sometimes like you put your mouse down the bottom of the YouTube video and you can't actually see what the person's typing. And I hate that. So let's say user first where the email is equal to that email. Now, there we go. We've got that user. Let's grab their pathway, P-A-T-H, that used as a pathway. And let's say learning underscore resources. And there we go. Woo! It's working. Oh, this is exciting. All right, so let's jump out of that and work on the next one. So we should probably come back here and create some more learning resources. And we probably want to jump back into, maybe I can just remember the next question. Where was it? It was somewhere around here. Then I get a bunch of topics to choose from. We'll probably do that last because that'll be the most complicated. Which of these learning strategies do you prefer? I just want to get up and running, or I want to go deep. So let's say another one for a Quasar quick start. Quasar quick start. And I've already got that series. I've already created it. And it's sitting somewhere on YouTube. I'll find it in a second. So a quick video that runs you through Quasar's core capabilities. Tremendous! Now I'll quickly jump into YouTube and see if I can find that. Gosh, I probably need to clean a few things up on my channel. I'm not very diligent at putting things in the right playlists and that kind of thing. Oh gosh, that's a terrible cover photo. Look like I'm on drugs. My name's Luke, and welcome to Quasarcast. That's what that looks like. Moving on, moving down. Quasar fundamentals. Why has that got the floating action button icon? Ah! Quasar content form. Oh, here we go. Quasar getting started guide. Intro long, intro, and this is the one we ended up with. So this, I was just playing around with a few to see which one I liked the most, and I ended up landing on this one here. There we go. So that's going to be the link to that one. What I might be able to do is say, is this a YouTube video? If it's a YouTube video, then we'll display it as a YouTube video. So I can probably do stuff like that. And I can probably steal the cover image as well. How do I... how can I do that? I just want the cover image. Come to think of it, this is not such a simple thing to figure out. How about we go... Gosh, I'm getting sick of my own voice. Bah! Let's go to YouTube. Let's go to my playlists again. And this time I might just copy it directly from there. Need help on AutoKey. I wrote Python script to open application, but every time it opens new instances. Do you know any resource where it will detect the application is open or not? If open, then bring it. Okay, good question. Is this on a Windows or on Linux? I remember spending a long time trying to figure it out on Windows, and I couldn't. But I do have the scripts for Linux. I think I included it in that video. So, by the way, for those of you that don't know what Prashant is talking about, if I hold Control-Shift-Alt and press S, it opens up Sublime. And if I go Control-Shift-Alt-C, it opens up Google Chrome. Sorry, not Sublime, VS Code. So I can very quickly switch between applications. And I've got it for my terminal as well. And what I've done is I've set it up so that if it's not open, it will open it. So let me quit the terminal. Linux, okay, that's good. And if I do Control-Shift-Alt-E, it will then open up the terminal. But then if I do it again, it just switches to the terminal. So I can very quickly switch between applications. So I think, from memory, Prashant, I included that in the video. However, it's likely that I forgot for some reason. And if not, I will do that for you now because I actually have a gist with all of my code for that. How can I view my recent stuff? This was a podcast, wasn't it? Yes, this would be on the Quasar Life podcast. Oh, there I am. It's my big face. The future of CSS. This is very exciting. Listen to that one. I'm super excited about that. AutoKey. Yeah, here's the gist. So if you click on this gist here, I've got some examples for what I use for AutoKey. So here's my AutoKey, and there's the things that I switch to. And I think that Google Chrome one is exactly what I've got here. Switch to Chrome. And so that's the code for it. It looks like, let's have a look at what I'm doing. I'm checking if the window exists. And that's a function. So it accepts the target. Oh God, honestly, I probably copy pasted a lot of this from things that I found on Stack Overflow. Yeah, but then you basically using this function, I check if that window exists, and if it is, I activate it. Otherwise, this is a function that I'm calling to then open Google Chrome. And to find out whether or not that's open, I actually use one of their sample scripts. Sorry, to find out the class ID of that, I use one of the sample scripts here. This is super handy. Display window info. So see this script you get for free. If you click on play and then go to Chrome, for example, I might have to click on it again. Oh, there it was. You get this little thing here. And this gives you all the information you need there. So I think it's this one here. It shows you the class, which is that. Title you wouldn't need. But yeah, just useful stuff like that. I've got another one as well, like Control-Shift-Alt-I to open up the icons directory for MDI icons, because I am always going here and finding icons that I need to use. So yeah, that's a really handy one. And that one won't switch to it. If I go Control-Shift-I, it just opens it again, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, Prashant. If not, let me know. But I'm seeing you're clapping there, so that's good to hear. Good to hear, as if I can hear the clapping beyond the computer. So let's jump out of there. And what was I doing? I was looking for a cover. I want to have a cover photo that I can use, and I don't want to have to upload it myself. I want to just use a YouTube one. That's enough, Luke. If I go full screen there, will they go bigger? No. See all. Don't really want to view my history though. You know what? Let's just do this. Let's go into Canva and just do it ourselves. What was that image library thing I was talking about before? Cloudinary. So I'm going to log in there. I think I should be already logged in. Yes, sign me in. And I think I had one called like getting started. So let's put in the word getting and see if we can find my getting started one. No, I want to search for my ones. Recent design, see all. And I'm looking for my getting started one. Pressing on. Let me know if you catch it, guys. Upgrading. Aha! Quasar's getting started guide. Introduction. They both look the same to me. Let's go with that one, just because it's at a later date. So now we can download this. No, not as an MP4, as a PNG. And then when that's downloaded, I will upload it to Cloudinary. So, media library. Upload. Oh, didn't work. Let's try that again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Done. Then I can just whack it in there. And here's the cool thing about Cloudinary. I can now click on this if I remember how to do it. And there's like a edit button. Yeah, so I could set my own width on this to something a little bit smaller. Maybe like 620. Let's say 600 there. And then we can just do a refresh to see what that looks like. That's probably a really good size. And so now what I can do is I can copy this. And if I go to that URL, I'm going to get that image back at that size, which is cool. It's just a really quick way to get the image at the exact right size that you need. So now under image source, I can paste this in for the Quasar get started guide. And there we go. So what's the next one? That was the answer to the getting up and running fast question, wasn't it? So let's go to Pathways Controller. We're actually getting really close to finishing this. I can probably copy paste that down. This is definitely going to be extracted to its own file. This is nuts. So the answer to this question was learn fast or deep. And let's take a look at the data we get from that. And for the deep one, I'll then have my Quasar getting started guide, the one I'm currently working on for the to-do app. So, in fact, I can probably already link to that, because if I go to courses here, how about this? Quasarcast.com. How about we have a course here? What's the format I'm using? Building Quasar content form. And then, okay, so I'm using slugs like that, and if I get rid of that, it will just automatically add the next slug. No, it doesn't work that way. Bugger, I should make it work that way. So how about I just copy this, get out of there, and we'll come back here, and I'll make it so that the answer to the deeper question will be quasarcast.com/ get started. That's probably a really good URL, and that's a URL I can probably use all over the place, like get-started, or maybe get started. Just get started with, or maybe like start. Let's just super simplify this. Quasarcast.com/learn, maybe. I like that. Yeah, so if you want to get started, imagine me like being on a podcast, and I can say, so if you want to get started with Quasar, then check out quasarcast.com/learn. /learn. What do you think, guys? quasarcast.com/learn/new/begin/start. Oh yeah, let's go with /start. I like that. So there's a Quasar quick start, but then we're going to have the Quasar deeper one. While you are creating endpoint for each case, this you could handle with switch case. Because it's going to be sitting in its own file, and I actually don't really like switch cases. I don't know why. But the way I'll probably end up doing this is, rather than using if cases, I'll probably have an array, which is going to map to, which will probably help us delegate to different classes. So this array might say, for example, I don't know, do you know view yes, or something like that. I haven't really figured out exactly what this will look like, but each of the answers that we get, in fact, maybe the final thing should just be an array. Maybe answers shouldn't be an object. It should literally just be an array that has things like this. Knows view. Wants to learn fast, as opposed to like wants to learn deep. Knows view X. And then, based on those answers, I can then delegate to a function that could then handle it. So a class that can then handle it. So the class for this one could be like, or maybe not even, I could probably even do like an inline function. I don't know. But the point is, I'll end up having an array, and then these will like take you to different classes. So maybe when this is inside of its own class, it'll be like this, and then some sort of a handler, like create or associate lesson, and then the name of the lesson will be in there. So like learn view from scratch, and then this would be like, for example, doesn't know view. Yeah, I reckon that'll be good. So when this eventually sits in its own file, I'll just have a file that is like this, or actually that should be a colon. You know what? We could go even further with that. Maybe all of the lessons IDs could just sit directly in there. Or maybe I can put like unique UUIDs on there. Maybe I'm a die-hard fan of, yeah, I am definitely a die-hard fan of Laravel. I do love Laravel. I think it's wonderful. So then this could be like a UUID equal to something. And then basically I can just change those UUIDs. And that means later on down the line, I could probably even change this data on the back end, on the front end more easily. Yeah, okay, I like that. But anyway, that's good. At least we have an idea of how we'll build the API now. So good question, Prashant, because it sparked a whole bunch of thoughts from me. But yeah, for now, I'm probably just going to use if statements because everything's going to be handled. Because then I'm going to like be dealing with an array. I guess I could technically use a switch statement. I've just never really liked the way they look. I guess it really is just a preference thing. All right, so this will then be an else statement. Oh, you're right. This code really does look terrible. But this won't be do you know view. It's going to be to that other question. Pathway. Gosh, getting a lot of errors now. And how about on that page, we just log out all of the answers. Or you know what? I can just look at the answers directly in here. Learning strategy. And the two learning strategies are, what are they? Fast and deep. So if we get the answer fast, actually, what did I say in here? It is learning underscore strategy, and that gives us fast and deep. So learning underscore strategy, and we got fast there. Otherwise, we're going to assume that it is deep. Man, this is getting messy. Learning. My brain's getting a bit tired. I don't know if I'm going to last much longer, guys and girls. So then it does the same thing, but we just need to find the right title now. And we'll use the CETA to figure out what that's going to be. What have we got here? Quasar quick start as the title. And then the link is equal to that link. Yeah, I'm definitely liking the UUID idea. Or maybe even a slug, because you always know that a slug is going to be unique. So that might be a good way to do it as well. And then I can probably use that slug later on for the different resources. So I like that idea. In fact, I'm going to whiteboard that idea because I really like that idea. How about this? A learning resource has a slug. I might do it on a note. A learning resource has a slug. And we also then want to have like a function where we can say like find by slug or something like that. Cool. All right, so that's going to clean things up a lot when I implement that. But for now, I just want to see like a final result. So I can go to bed easy tonight. What else have we got here? Learning deep. And we decided that was going to be the name of that series. So let's create another one here called Learn Quasar by building a to-do app or something like that. We'll go with that. So in this series, we'll build a to-do app from using Quasar. You'll learn the fundamentals of Quasar, explore many of its components, many of its core components, and get to send so basically I want to say you get to use an API as well. Explore many of its core components and implement a to-do API. I don't know, we can tweak that later on. The link is going to be that /start. I like to keep it ridiculously simple, like one word. So when someone's typing it in, they're never going to forget it. /start. That's just like it's going to be easy to remember. This doesn't have an image yet, so I'm just going to use the other one that we currently have. And now I can use that to find this learning resource. So I'm repeating myself a lot here. So we'll get rid of that redundancy in a second. Even though we're going to replace this file, that is a terrible redundancy that should definitely be annihilated. So let's do this. And the link as well. This code is making me feel gross. I might clean it behind the scenes, not in a live stream. Because I think there's going to be, for me to clean it up the way I want to clean it up, there's probably going to be a lot of me sitting there staring at the screen, going for long walks on the beach and trying to figure it out. So, if they like learning deep, they're going to get, if they like learning fast, they'll get the Quasar Quick Start Guide. Otherwise, they're going to get the Learn Quasar by Building a To-Do App guide. Hopefully that is going to work, and then I think I'm going to take a break because my ears are starting to hurt from wearing these headphones, and I'm getting a little bit sleepy. All right, then. Let's make sure that I'm logged out by refreshing the page here because I haven't implemented the automatic show up person logged in thing when you register. And let's change that to something else. Oh, I already had a password typed in there. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at what problem we hit here. Oh, I haven't run the seeder. That's what that would be. So how about we say here, artdb. I'm just going to wipe the database, and then we'll say art. In fact, let's go to our base seeder. So database seeder. What have we got here? Okay, I'm creating a version of myself there. And we create the guest account. And then we create some courses with some factories. The only thing I need to add in here, really, is the learning resource seeder. So let's say, oh, how do I run a seeder from within a seeder? I actually can't remember how to do that. Learning resource seeder. I remember I had to do like some funky stuff, something like this. New learning, or something like that. New learning resource seeder, and then like seed. I don't know, what's the name of this method? Oh, run. New learning resource seeder. I already imported that class. I think that's what I have to do to get that running. Yeah, it looks like it. So let's try this. Art. Migrate, and then we'll seed the database when that's done. Cool. Looks like it all worked. Let's see if I'm in the database. There's guest. So let's say, let's just pluck the emails. Pluck all the emails out of there. There I am. So it looks like the seeder ran just fine. Suggested topic is ESLint, prettier, Babel for fresher configuration, especially new guy. Initially, I struggled a lot. Well, good news. That's going to be in the Getting Start guide, except for prettier. I actually don't. I've used prettier a little bit at work, and we're going to use it as the team grows. But I haven't found a reason to use it yet. And I say that's with a big yet, because I know that a lot of people get benefit from prettier, especially for larger teams where they want the code to be consistent. But for now, my linting is very basic. I just go to ESLint, and I come down here, and I always, so this is the one that's enabled by default. I always enable the recommended, because it gives you way nicer linting. It gives you like extra stuff out of the box. And it means that you know that your code is going to be written the sort of more official view way. So that's why I always use this one. And I might use prettier at some point because it just adds a little bit of extra interesting things that can be helpful on top. Use the Airbnb, and I don't even know what the Airbnb linter looks like. I've never looked at it before. I should, because I've always been curious. Like, I wonder how they lint at Airbnb. I'm sure they've got like really good reasons behind their linting rules. So yeah, but that's what I use, and I'm just using standard there. Uh, I might like up my linting skills in the future as the team at work grows. But I want to make sure I've got a good understanding of what I'm doing before I do a video series on that. So that might not be for another few months, but it's definitely something worth covering. It's a good idea, and it needs to be at the top of my radar. All right, what was I doing? We can try running this again and just seeing if I've messed anything up. Let's try this. BBBNNN. Oh! Rah! It worked! Oh, hang on. One more thing I really want to do is actually return my pathway when it's done. Return the pathway with its resources. I think it will automatically have them because it adds them as you create it. Make sure resources are ordered as we go. That's one thing I have to do as well. I will now have to log out. So let's go ahead and do that. Log out. And let's try another request here. PPPQQQ. So that worked. Let's have a look at what we got back in return. Rip. What is that? Is that the pathway? Okay, so we didn't get any of the data with it. So we might do this. Let's say pathway. I think I can say load or something like that. Yep. And what are we loading? Learning resources. All right, so let's refresh the page. Log out. By the way, what is vultures? Say lint vultures. What was I doing? Are you screencasting with OBS Studio or any other? I'm actually, yeah, just OBS Studio. There it is there. Super basic setup. Really. I've got my camera set up as well. But I don't usually point it at my face because I prefer just to do things without the camera. It means that I think people can then focus more on the code if my face isn't on the screen. But that's my philosophy behind it. It might be totally wrong. There's no statistics on that. I just pulled that out of my brain and hoped that it was the case. Okay, so we've got learning resources being returned now. And there we go. Looks like it's working. So then the last thing I'm going to do is just test it in a couple of scenarios and see if it actually works. So we'll go to the pathway page here. Let's go to our data and change the default tab to, what's the first tab we've got? Do you know view? Do you know view? See, this is a case where I should probably be using TDD. In fact, doing this kind of thing probably would be faster with TDD. So let's imagine they know view. We haven't done any of that yet. That's the last thing we need to do. And then they want to learn fast. And there we go. What? What happened? Oh, this account already has a pathway. Oh, because I'm still logged in. Oh, we really need to fix that. Make it automatically log me in by default. Well, after I've registered. So let's try this again. I know view. We're going to do basically the top answers. I just want to get up and running fast. And let's see if that works. What? They've only got one learning resource. What did I do wrong here? Maybe I couldn't find it in my pathways controller. Title, learn Quasar by building a to-do app. Did I write that in wrong? And then the link is that. So that's correct. Anyway, let's have a look at what I ended up with. A quick video that runs you through Quasar's core capabilities. So that's the up and started fast one. The one that didn't work was the learn view one. Oh, because we did one for... Oh, because you don't expect to have a learn view video series. Okay, so that worked exactly as it should. Geez, my brain really is shutting down here. Come on, Luke, push through. You're almost done. Oh, whoops. Clicked on something I shouldn't have. I don't know view, so I should get the video that teaches me view. I want to go deep. And PPP, SSS. Ah, I didn't do the logout thing. This is not a great coding mode. Don't know view. Next, I want to go deep. BBB, AAA. And let's have a look at the data. So you don't know view, so in this series you're going to learn it. And this person wanted to go deep. And then so we've got the data with the learn Quasar by doing it to do up. Okay, perfect. That's working. And I did notice, by the way, there does seem to be another question here in the pathway. I know another front-end framework, so we'll have to deal with that answer as well. But I think we've reached a point now that I know that it's working, I can start in my next video or my next live stream, whatever, refactoring this and figuring out a nice way to present this code. A lot of it's repeated. I'm already seeing stuff like that can probably be cleaned out. If we put a UUID on these learning resources, it'll be easy to basically map resources to answers to questions. Oh my gosh, what I just said then. That's it, isn't it? We need to be able to map resources to answers. So what if we had something like that in the database? Something like map maybe like a resource answers, or like map answer yeah, answer, but it's like a questionnaire answer. I need to be more specific here. Oh, this is a Pi related thing. I'll look at that in a second. Oh gosh, my brain's shutting down. Map answer. No. I'm looking for how to spell questionnaire. Huh? All right, questionnaire. We're almost done. Map questionnaire answer to learning resource. This is what I need. So then what I can do is build up this table here, right? And by building up that table, I don't need to run through any of this stuff anymore. I can just use this table to basically say, if this is the answer, then give me that learning resource. So I can do that on the admin side of things. And so an example on this would be, for example, learning resource ID and then answer, which is going to be a string. It could also be its own object in the database, but I see no reason for it to be. Hang on, we should think about this. Is there any reason answer would sit in the database? Maybe it would, because maybe you want to have answers that are arrays. No, that should be handled on the front end, I think. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe you can map more than one resource to an answer. So if you answer something, it actually ends up throwing two resources on. An answer can have more than one resource, question mark. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And then on the front end, all I have to do is look in the database to say, hey, this is the answer that I got back, right? Wants to learn view, or whatever I align that up with. Maybe answer is a bad word there, but let's just say it's wants to learn view, and then it's going to get me all of the learning resources based on my answer to that. And I'll create a relationship between this and a learning resource, so I can very easily then pull the learning resources out based on answers. This is going to be awesome. I'm super excited about this concept. I'm going to implement that in the next video, but I'm getting a little bit tired. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Always love doing these videos. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next live stream. I reckon this is going to be done. I reckon I've probably got to do about 2 or 3 more live streams, and then this is going to be done, and I can start rolling it out, which is really exciting. And then in a podcast, I can say like, hey, thanks everybody for listening. If you want to have a pathway for learning Quasar, so if you want to learn Quasar through videos, but you don't really know where to get started, then I've actually created a questionnaire, and through that questionnaire, I'm going to custom build you a pathway, and you can follow that pathway to learn Quasar as quickly as possible. So for example, if you don't know Vue, I'll create a pathway that teaches you how to learn Vue and then how to get into Quasar from there. Or if you already know Vue, and you just want to get up and running fast with Quasar, then I'll show you the videos for getting up and running fast. Yeah, so I could say something like that at the end of my podcast. I'll probably have to like simplify it and make it really clear. But thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next live stream. I've had a blast as per usual.